It's time to see how bad the green screen looks. Bam! Whoa! Where you at, Shadows? Okay. You're there sometimes. Lighting. What a burden. I'm just waving my arms like a chicken. Hey guys, I moved my office a little bit. We got better lighting. Favorite weapon of choice from your childhood is a mud pie. Thanks, Ping. Glad somebody reads my tweets. I was and always will be the spear. I'm a spear guy. I'm working on some branding, guys. Thanks for being the early crew, by the way. I'm definitely going to be renaming the channel to Zach Fierce Dev. And I just hired an I would say local artist, but I moved out of Cleveland, so a local artist to work on some nice art for a new channel design. How sick is that? Personal branding. I'm really excited about that. So look forward to that coming soon to this place near you. How about you, Rig? What was in your youth? What was your weapon of choice? I should say I never fought anyone with a spear in my youth, but I did handle one. And bow staves. I really like bow staves. So, I suppose we can just hop in here. Real weapon of choice was a Nerf gun. Not bad. I didn't bring any Nerf guns with me from Cleveland, so shucks, I'm gonna have to pick up some new ones. Gotta stay armed. Alright, let's hop in here. Ooh, hey, webcam, get that green screen. My green screen's farther back now, which is a lot more convenient, but means I have to adjust the transform on my webcam. Darnation. There we go. Okay, looking good. No shadows all the time. Now only shadows if I raise my arms too high. That's pretty good. Okay, let's hop in. So, when you last saw me, I was working on Mechanim animation stuff for Peasant, and I'll get you a better view here. So we've got our guy. I've worked on it since then and changed a few things. So first thing, movement is now goes from a walk to a run to a sprint, which is nice and clean, and your character moves appropriately. I'm using root motion, which I never thought I would use, but I'm using root motion and it looks and feels really good. So, I learned a thing. I also implemented movement states for each of the weapon types. So we've got unarmed, sword, spear, and bow. And what's cool is I was able to configure a lot of the gameplay inputs through these systems. So I can change state here to 1. This is the sword state. This is me holding a sword and shield. I can swing it. I can swing it and do a light attack with a sword swing. I can do a heavy attack. Looks a lot like a shield bash right now. And I can also block by holding my utility button. Let's go back to unarmed really quick because I want to show you this. I'm proud of this. This is the dodge roll. I can press B here, boop, boom, and do a quick dodge roll, which keeps you moving in one direction for a short time and will make you invincible. And it's not faster than running. But, so there's a nice defensive maneuver. Let's go to spear now. So with a spear, you'll be holding it like this in 2 hands. Pretty good. Uh-oh. Does this spear walk cycle have root motion? It might not. I'm really not moving at all. Does dodge roll give iframes? It does give iframes, or at least it will. Here's the spear. You get a nice spear stab, and also a heavy attack sweep. And you can also parry with the spear. You can't block because you don't have a shield, but you can parry to reduce some damage. And let's move to the third. So after spear comes bow and arrow. So bow and arrow doesn't have an idle, but it does have a draw and a release. Draw and release. Draw and release. Draw and release. The heavy attack will look just like the light attack. It's going to be a triple arrow shot, basically, horizontally. And the dodge roll sticks with the bow and arrow. So you've got 4 different weapon types, basically. Unarmed isn't really a weapon type. 3 different defensive maneuvers, rolling, blocking, or parrying. And 4 different weapon types with different attacks between them. Today, the job is to equip weapons so that we can switch between these states based on what weapon we have. So what we'll need, if we get a ton done, which I don't always expect we get a ton done on these streams, the goal is to be able to have a weapon pickup that exists, cool. 2, to interact with the weapon pickup to equip it. That'll set the state based on what type of weapon it is. And to properly attach it to the character. Next, we want to be able to swap weapons with something else on the ground. We're going to work on 1 inventory slot for now, but our goal is to work our way back up to at least 2. I haven't decided what inventory slots are going to look like quite yet, but other new things, we're using Mechanim for the camera, which I'm really proud about. So we're using Cinemachine for the camera, and that feels really good. Feels really good to have Cinemachine going. Let me apply these overrides real quick because they should be applied. I've actually got the weapons on the character right now. I just have them disabled. So I can come in here and disable this wooden shield. I can enable and disable this bow, enable disable this sword, enable disable this spear. So I've got them on here. So I'm going to remove them because we don't actually want them on there. Let's apply these overrides. There's no overrides to speak of. Cool. And let's get into the code. So, character. So right now, all of that stuff, the attacking, shooting arrows, dodge rolling, happens in the animator. There isn't really even code in here for it. I accept the inputs here. Animation events for the animation, start rolling, and stop movement override. Movement override is setting velocity. So basically the dodge roll sets velocity that the character moves until you stop it. Booted up Unity a few days ago and everything's so confused now. A bunch of rendering stacks, gameplay object versus the data-oriented tech stacks. Interesting. Yeah, rendering stuff is confusing. I avoid it. Here's my dodge roll. Let's change that to dodge roll. And let's see, our character state here. We're going to want to store this on the weapon. And I don't want to store it on the weapon proper. Do I want to store it on the weapon proper? Weapon. Weapon script. Let's just work on this weapon script here. So just like Blender, when you open up and delete the cube, every time you open a mono behavior, delete, start, and update, just to put them back in. I want a public character state. Character state. So this character state is going to assign when the character picks up the weapon. So let's do I want to do these with scriptable objects, or do I want to do these as inspector values? I think I want to do these with scriptable objects. So let's change this to scriptable object. Okay, I don't want to do context menu. I'm going to pull open my old scripts. A scriptable object, let me tell you, a scriptable object is a constant struct that you can edit in the editor. Which means if you have 2 swords, for example, in the world, 2 wooden swords, and they have the exact same stats, you can choose to store the damage, the swing speed, the knockback, the rarity, the elemental effects on this sword, as like a mono behavior, but if you do so, you store the exact same values on this one. That means you have twice as many values stored when really you just need one copy of a wooden sword information, or a set of constant values, or a constant struct. So scriptable object is wonderful because it lets you do that. It lets you create law outside of the game that the game can't change. So, and you can create them all in the editor. In fact, you might be able to create them. Visual way of making an item database? Yeah, not so much visual. I'll show you in just a moment here when I remember how to do this. And by remember how to do this, I mean open up my old scripts because I deleted all of them to encourage myself to redo everything. So here's my old weapon data script. It's an item data, so it's a scriptable object. Ooh, I will need item data. Yeah, here is a scriptable object. It's actually got a function here, is possible sub item, which just returns a bool. It stores some enums. These don't matter. They're outside of the class declaration. But look at all this information here. Item tier, max stacks, held animation, throw style, left hand, drop force, throw force, angular speed, throw damage, buy price, sell price, possible sub items. Sub items, by the way, is going out the wazoo. It's just too complicated. That means out the butt. Never mind. So let me make one of these. I wanted this, the create asset menu is what I was trying to grab from here. I'm going to do the rest without looking. So, new, and this is, I'm going to make a new gosh dang file, scripts. I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to make this a separate top level folder called scriptable objects. Because they're not like scripts. They're mono behaviors. So I want this weapon data. So weapon data is going to hold all the data we need for a weapon. And then a weapon will have a reference to weapon data. That way, each instance of the same weapon will have one data point in common, a reference to the data. To do this, I need script. Wait till you see these in engine. That's when they really shine. But let me delete that weapon script real quick because it's bad. We will be remaking it at some point, but here's just me being crazy. Let's make a folder here called weapon. This is my scriptable object weapons. Weapon data. Delete, start, and update like you do in Blender. And this is new weapon data, menu name weapon data. I'm just going to leave it at that for now. So I haven't even written anything inside the class, but it is a scriptable object. Crap. No, this is fine. My resources folder is where I will store scriptable objects. So I'm going to make a folder in here called weapons, and I just decided I'm going to rename this folder to weapons instead of weapon, because it just feels better even if they're scripts for weapons, scripts for the character. Okay, inside resources, weapons, I'm going to start creating these scriptable objects. What's nice is scriptable objects are really easy to load at runtime, which means you can change these outside of the game running or outside of the editor and have them affect the game. So kind of like you could use this for modding, I suppose. If I right click, go to create, normally I go to C# script or material or whatever, but look up here, weapon data. I added this to the menu with that decorator that I added to the script. There's no code in that scriptable object script, but there is a decorator that adds weapon data here. So I'm going to add wooden sword. This is now a scriptable object called wooden sword, and you'll notice it comes up the inspector with nothing, and it just kind of sits here. Let's open this up again. Scriptable objects, weapon data. Let's add a public character state called character state. I'm going to call it my character state. And now, if I go to resources weapons, here is the instance of the scriptable object weapon data. My character state, I can set sword, because it's a wooden sword. So now I can apply these to the character. When I pick up a weapon, I'm going to check its weapon data and then set the character state to the weapon's character state. So let's make a few more of these while we're here. I'm going to create weapon data. Spear. We'll just call this sword. It doesn't have to be a wooden sword for now. Spear. My character state, spear. Let's make another weapon data called bow. And my character state, bow. Okay. Now, that should be enough information to successfully equip these. However, a scriptable object can't exist on a object, object. Yes, object is the right word. Wow, I had a moment there, guys. Weapons. There's weapons data. I'm going to go here and create weapon. Weapon will be a mono behavior, and it's going to have reference to a public weapon data called data. Weapon.data is the data. Our character now needs to be able to pick these things up. To do so, I'm going to have my A button. Let's go to player input and let's re-enable interaction. Interaction. Get button, short press down. Yeah, I want short press down still. Yeah. A lot of games are moving towards this. Interacting is a press and hold action. So let's go to character. Let's get our interact function going here. It's funny, I order these light attack, heavy attack, utility, when in reality it should be utility, light, heavy. Never mind, we're doing them the order I implement them. Public, void, interact. Press and hold seems bad for a brawler. Well, this is for switching weapons. So there's a weapon on the ground. And when you're fighting somebody, you're really just going to be attacking. I only see rare cases where you're going to want to, like, you walk into a room, you're actively fighting someone, and you need to pick up a weapon off the ground, unless you're unarmed, or somebody dies and drops something useful. But maybe I'll make it like either press and hold or double tap. That would be kind of cool. I'm surprised games don't do that. I'm not surprised that games allow you to press and hold instead of tapping. But has any of you guys played a game where you tap instead of holding? Like do a double tap to perform an action or an interaction? I could see that for like an attack. Like press once for this kind of attack, double press for a different kind of attack. I'm not talking like a combo, like press once for attack 1, press 2 for the second attack. Take time when encourage the player to have to use the weapons they currently are holding. Yep, that's my thought. And the big thing is it prevents misinputs. Or how about this? Can't think of this is interacting, plenty for combat action. How about this? You press the button to pick something up and you hold to swap. So you press to pick up, hold to swap. That's very Borderlandsy. Because picking things up, you want to do instantly. But if you actually want to swap the sword you're holding for the spear on the ground, you press and hold. That way, if you needed to, you could, yeah, I like that too, Rick. If you needed to, you could just drop your weapon. Yeah, double tap is hard for some people. Even double clicking. I know people who struggle with double clicking. And it's not unusual. So let's have the two. Get button short press down will be a long interact, and then I'll have a short interact. Get button down, interact, interact. Get button short press down, interact, 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 interact. So character. Bot surging on my keyboard hand and double clicking certain buttons sucks. Yeah, if I were to include any double clicking or mashing, it would be you'd have an option in the game to replace that with a press and hold. I think that's just accessibility you need to have these days. And it's just convenient. So I want short interact and long interact. And if you're doing a short or a long interact, it'll have the options on screen like press, hold, and if you hold, it'll like fill up too. So this is our get button down is going to be our short interact. This is going to be our long interact. Still not sure how I want the inventory to work in this game. My first thought was give you 4 weapon slots. No, 4 inventory slots. But normal items could take up these slots. So maybe you'd want a sword, a magic weapon, and then you'd want to hold like a treasure chest and then a healing item. And that'd be 4 slots. Now I'm leaning more towards you have 2 slots, but you have an inventory you can access with more. So like maybe your inventory has 4 slots, and you can swap things out from your primary and secondary slot. And that's where stuff like money or treasure would go. And your character sits down and opens their backpack sort of thing. So that in combat, you'd really stick to a couple primary things. Ooh, you could do 8 slots, but a weapon takes up 2. That's interesting. Ooh, that's interesting, that's interesting. Sword and shield is a sword and a shield, so it takes up 2. Bow and arrow, you need a slot for bow, slot for arrows. A spear is just big. That actually makes sense. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I want to design controller first, so I already have that you can use these buttons to swap your inventory items. Maybe I'll take those away and save those for other functions like an inventory thing, and I'll use weapon swapping on the D-pad down here. I really like leaving the D-pad open to movement as an alternative, or like menu navigation, but maybe I can do 4 slots easily that way. Yeah. But for now, let's get interacting in here. We've got interact and long interact, short interact and long interact. I think that makes sense. I like those names. So short interact, we need to do a check in a radius around the player to see if there's anything they can pick up. And specifically the closest thing. I think I'm going to do some inventory here to identify what the closest thing is as well. So we should put a radius on the player. We've got our character controller, we've got an animator. I'm going to put the character controller above the animator. I don't know, that just feels right to me. Mesh renderer, colliders, animators, rest. That's how I like to organize things. It doesn't have to make sense. Okay, let's add a sphere collider here. This is going to be our interact radius. I'm thinking that 4 is way too big. Let me see these in meters. There's a radius of 1. Interesting, my grid is subdivided into halves. You see that? What's going on here? And first of all, I like a not subtle grid. Like, no, I'll make it kind of subtle. Fine. I love that you can go up here and edit grid and snap settings now. Oh, shoot. This is where I can set it. That's nice. Snap, we'll keep that to 5, 10. Rotating, it has to be something ending in 5. I'll do 15 for now. Ooh, this is fun. Ooh, this is fun. Line selection to grid, nice. Okay, this is what I'm more used to. So radius, I'm thinking 3. You gotta be on top of stuff to grab it then. Maybe 2.5, a nice 5 diameter. Nah, we're going 3. Okay, so this is going to be our interaction trigger. And we're going to have to detect and keep a list of anything within this trigger. Okay, so character. I need a list of, and I'm just going to track weapons for now. So let's get list of weapon. I should make an interactable class. I should have an interactable class. Nope, we're just doing weapon for now. We're staying simple. Nearby weapons. Something I used to do, excuse me. Something I used to do is instantiate these lists right here. In my property variable list up here. But then I realized if I ever disabled and enabled this character, that list, like say they die, and I want to reset them, the list won't get uninstantiated. Or rather, I want to instantiate this list every time this awake gets called. Yeah, when awake gets called. No? That doesn't make sense, Zach. Yes, it does, because I want to clear it. No, it doesn't. Awake only ever gets called once and only once. Whew. Hope y'all aren't here for intelligent game development. Nearby weapons. It doesn't need to be caps because it's private. List weapon. Above my updates, I'm going to put my Unity hooks. So I'm going to say on trigger enter and on trigger exit. Don't know what this private nonsense is. You don't need it. Anything in a class without a one of these declarations is private. You don't have to say private, dang it. Private, dang it. Okay. If, okay, weapon equals other dot get component. I forgot how to use get component. Forgive me. Weapon. Okay, so this is a simple test here to see if something you've bumped into, gosh dang it, is what you think it is. I've flubbed it all up. Okay, get weapon. If weapon. Okay, we got a weapon. Nice. I want to add this to the list. Nearby weapons, add weapon. Boom. We're going to do the same thing down here in on trigger exit. If it's a weapon, we want to remove weapon. It's a little troublesome for reasons we'll identify later. Now this list has all our weapons. I'm going to go down here and I want to get some private functions going. I don't have any just straight up private functions in here. Nice. Void. I want, my animation events are private, but they're accessible by the animator, which is really just the sketchiest thing. Unity lets you use multiple scripts per object, and Gato, an object can only hold one. Yep, very object-oriented kind of style. Yeah, we're instead of a parent-child, Unity's all component-based. Something has a collection of somethings. Whereas in Gato or Unreal, you'd work as this is a subset of something, and maybe it has interfaces, or a child of something with interfaces. But this is, I love this approach. It just makes me so happy. I can just chuck something on something and all of a sudden it has the attributes. Just like combining slimes in Slime Rancher. Okay, I'm not worried about hooks or input or animation events. Let's just get this pick up weapon. Okay. I want to track the nearest nearby weapon. This is important to me. I'm going to store it publicly too, so I can access it with a UI element. I'm going to have a public weapon nearest weapon. Interactable nearest weapon. I want to get, and I want a private set. There, I'll use private there. This needs to be a capital nearest. And I can actually do the checks here. Let's go back to our Unity hooks. Our update turning. Update animated current animation, normalize time. Update nearest weapon. Nearest weapon equals no. For each weapon in nearby weapons, we're going to do a loop. I'm going to say I need to store distance, float, weapon, distance. You notice I'm using weapon a lot here. This is going to change to item or interactable eventually. Nearest interactable, nearby interactables. But we're just trying to think iteratively here, or else I get way too distracted and bad things happen. I'm going to start this distance as float dot max value, which is big. It's 3.40282347 times 10 to the 38th power. I wonder what that is. If vector 3 distance gives me distance subtracts these, creates a vector, then finds the magnitude, doesn't it? Is that how distance works? Am I finding the square root of a square? Is this expensive? That's what I'm really asking. Transform position and weapon, which I can't spell. I spell it like John Freeman does. Weapon. Weapon transform position is less than our weapon distance. I'm going to call that nearest weapon distance. You might be wondering, why don't I just run this when I try to pick up a weapon? And I'll show you in a moment because I want to tie some UI events to this. And to do that, I need to have an active track of what the nearest weapon is. I'm going to store the nearest distance equals crap. I need to store that distance. Float distance equals vector 3 distance yada yada yada. Distance less than nearest distance. Then nearest distance equals distance, and nearest weapon equals weapon. Very simple distance checking function here. I should really move this into a function. Void find nearest weapon. Weapon. Ooh, my wife is home. I'm going to move this to a function here called find nearest weapon. So nearest weapon will be equal to find nearest weapon. That's not fierce wife, that's Dr. Fierce to you, Ping. Just a sec. All right. Yes, that is Dr. Fierce. Yeah. All right, we're back. So, find nearest weapon, we're going to call this function. I'm copying this code over here because it's nice just to keep things encapsulated like this. And maybe I want to find the nearest weapon at other instances. So find nearest weapon is going to return a weapon. Sounds like a Mega Man villain. Dr. Fierce. That's my best impression, guys. Nearest weapon. Good to see you, Nothing, by the way. Thanks so much for stopping in. Nearest weapon here, and we're going to return nearest weapon, which I need to declare as null, or else. Okay, so now we're finding the nearest weapon. Each frame. Find nearest weapon. Nice, nearest weapon, nearest weapon, nearest weapon. We do that in the update loop, so I can close down that. Okay, so pick up weapon should get called after a short interaction. Pick up weapon. Okay. Only streamer I watched since the doc isn't back. Yeah, I was reading about that. It sounds like he won't be coming back to Twitch, I should say. I wonder if he'll go to YouTube or if he'll go to Facebook. Probably do a lot better on YouTube, but it's hard to say. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna pick up a weapon. We want to equip this. I don't have any. I'm not tracking what kind of weapon we've got equipped. Public weapon. Equipped weapon. Facebook is such a terrible streaming platform. Use it for 2 days. It was so painful to use. When I think Facebook, I think it's the social media platform my parents and my grandparents use. I don't think it's where the cool kids go. You guys are cool kids. Do you go there for your gaming content? Or do you go to YouTube? It forces you to use your real name in chat. Yeah, that's kind of a bane. I really don't. Everyone knows my real name. It's on my website. I'm Zach Pierce. But I'd rather go around as Zach Fierce. Nearly impossible to find streams. That's so annoying. Alright, so if nearest weapon. If nearest weapon. Nice. We're going to equip a weapon, which I'm going to. Especially more than the top one in the category. That's annoying. Equip weapon. 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 Does anybody know what I'm talking about when I talk about I go to Facebook when I want to learn news? I suppose. I feel like when I go to Facebook to learn about news, I just get my ultra conservative racist friends ranting about things, and then my also ultra leftist friends ranting about things, and I really don't get it's very hard to find objective things on Facebook and not people yelling into the void, or worse yet, yelling into the echo chamber. I on Facebook, basically a Facebook feed with a dark mode, occasional random streams, someone you don't follow, and it pushing mobile games on you. That's really annoying. Okay, if nearest weapon, equip nearest weapon, nearest weapon. Cool. Yeah, Facebook it's tough. I've got a decent number of friends on Facebook, but I've blocked 95 of them from my newsfeed just because, one, I don't care, and two, I'm just scared of what they're going to say. Facebook is right-wing finger, Twitter's for my liberal friends, no place in the middle. That's true. Yeah. The games industry is very, very, very liberal. Most of it's pretty tame, but I'd say there's quite a bit of it is rather heavy liberal. As for me, I stand in the middle. I try and find the best of both, but it's interesting to see where these echo chambers come about. And now that we're off politics, let's equip some weapons. This weapon, which is great, I'm going to go to weapon. And this data, I'm going to change it to get private set. No, I'm going to make this data. This is tricky. Game industry is liberal? Yup. Okay, so character, equip weapon. I'm going to put state equal to weapon dot. I should be able to get data dot character state. Boom. When I update state, what happens? Public state with a capital S, it will set it in the animator. Perfect. So capital S state, weapon down to my character state. Perfect. I think I'm going to do something I've never done before. This public state, which has custom getters and setters, and then this private one, I'm going to rename it underscore state to try and remind me to never use it. Should always be using capital S state. Always, always, always. Okay, so now when we equip a weapon, it should change the character state. We should also probably destroy the old weapon. So when we pick up weapon, we equip the weapon. You're growing hair back out? This part, yeah, I can't get a haircut, so this is my quarantine hair. But I am shaving down the sides. Yeah. Okay, so we equip the nearest weapon. We don't destroy it, we attach it to the player. I also need to set where this is attached. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just see if we can change our weapon state with the weapon. To do that, I need to make some weapons. Let's go into Resources, Weapons. These are the scriptable objects for the weapons. But that's okay. Prefabs, let's make some weapons. Create folder weapons. Go in here. Let's we're gonna create an empty. I'm not just gonna have floating. I am gonna have floating models. Screw it. T prefab sword. Wooden sword. Hello, wooden sword. I need you. Unpack that. All this wooden sword. It's got a mesh renderer. I need to give it a collider, a box collider to encompass its shape. Yep, that's where I like box colliders to be. Calm down, me. Add component, weapon, data, sword. That's it. Let's see if it works. So I'm in my unarmed state. If I press A near the sword, nothing happens. Happens. I say. Troublesome. Let's do this. When we update to get our nearest weapon, let's log it. Debug, log. Nearest weapon, name. This weapon has a box collider and it has a weapon script. Oh, nobody here. If nearest weapon, I'm going to do first, make sure it exists. Nobody here has a rigid body, which means triggers don't work. Something needs to have a rigid body for triggers to work. Playing any games for fun. I'm playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey right now. I'm playing Animal Crossing New Horizons. And I'm playing Brawl Stars on mobile. Because mobile games got good, guys. I love this one. Hey, you can see the reflection. But yeah, I recommend Brawl Stars, by the way. This is not a sponsor, but I freaking love this game. And it's mobile, and it's good, and it's real-time combat, which is not normal. Okay, we have an issue regarding rigid bodies and collisions. Read Shadow Legends. No, I won't play that. Doesn't look like something I'd enjoy, is why. I'm adding a rigid body here to the character, which is odd because my character has a character controller, and that's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for me to admit. I'm trying to remember how collisions work. I know for triggers to work, a rigid body has to be involved. But does it have to be on the thing entering the trigger? Let's find out. Character controller, sphere collider, rigid body. That's the order I want here. Rigid body, kinematic. Collision detection, discrete is fine. Let's see if this works. Yep, wooden sword. Cool. Wooden sword is filling up. I'm going to press A, and now I'm in the sword stance, and I can swing my invisible sword. That is a great start. Next up, let's equip this sword. We're not changing states. Let's do public transform. I have a shield anchor, bow anchor, sword anchor, spear anchor. Sword anchor. Okay. Shield anchor. spear anchor and bow anchor, and I already realize I've got a problem because my sword and my shield get equipped on different layers even though they're going to exist as one weapon. I think Twitch will remain #1 for streaming forever. Forever is a dangerous word to use. I don't think anything lasts forever. But I think Twitch has a really strong foothold right now, and it's going to be very difficult to dislodge them. They've got the money. Other platforms are going to offer money, but nobody can offer what Twitch offers right now, which is the audience. I streamed for Mixer for a while and really enjoyed it. In fact, they put me on the front page my first stream, which was wild. We got a stupid number of followers that day, like 90. And I was doing a co-stream with my friend Lil Slick, Brian. And we both streamed at the same time. It was really cool. And they had faster than light back then, which was low latency now on Twitch that Twitch didn't have. So co-streaming and low latency were big pushes. But now Twitch has low latency and they have co-streaming, but nobody does it, and affiliates can't access it, which sucks. So I'd love to do that. They said they'd be rolling it out, like last year? Start streaming on Mixer, but not anymore. We gotta get you streaming at all, my friend Nothing. Hey, if you're in chat, would you encourage my friend Nothing to stream? I've been trying to get him. He's got the equipment, he's got the time, and he wants to do it. We just gotta get him to press record and play a game. Because it's as easy as that, my friend. As easy as that, and you'll have a good time. You've done it before. We just gotta get you doing it again. But just say, hey, somebody encourage him and tell him he can do it. Because he can do it. Alright. So we've got these anchors here. When I pick these up, I need to have a function. Sold the Elgato. That's okay. You've got a console that can stream. Easy enough. Let's see here. And if not, I've heard that audio-only streams are all the rage. Maybe. Okay. So, here's the issue I'm running into. When I pick up a spear, I attach the spear to the spear handle. Okay, Zach, don't overcomplicate this. When we pick up the weapon, just equip it based on its character state. So, state. Equip weapon. Okay, transform. Nope. Weapon dot transform set parent. I need to do a switch statement. So switch statement for I'm going to do my character state. I could do state, but I'm going to do it this way. I like this better. Case of character state. I'm going to have unarmed as an option. Why? Ooh. Break. Case, character state. Sword. Break. Case, character state. Spear. Break. And case, character state. Bow. We're going to have to update these if we add more types, and we will. Okay. So if it's a sword, we want to set parent to the sword anchor. And then we're going to set the transform to match it. Oh, here's a trick. Commenting. That's not actually the trick. Update character state. Parent weapon to character. Position weapon. I was going to position each of these to their parent. Like, I was going to say weapon transform position equals sword anchor position, yada yada. But here's an even simpler way to do it. Weapon dot transform set position and rotation equal to weapon transform parent position. And I could just set its local rotation to... Nah, that's easier. Boom! Now I've cut down 4 separate lines of code into one. set parent. This is the spear anchor. And this is the bow anchor. Okay. So, can I pick up the sword? That is the question. Let's make sure that these transforms are set up. Shield. Bow. Sword. Spear. Can I equip the sword? I run around. Bam! I'm now holding the sword and swinging the sword to attack. I got a shield bash, but no shield. And I can block with a shield, but I don't have a shield. Yeah, we are now running with the sword. I think yeah. Yeah, pretty good. Okay, let's get the other weapons. Some other weapons set up, rather. So prefabs, weapons. Let's get the sword in here. Let's center it. Sword. I'm going to set this sword up here so I can walk up and get it. I'm going to copy and paste the sword. No, that doesn't. Yeah. I'm going to unpack it. I'm going to say spear. What am I doing? T, prefab, spear. Let's grab a spear. I want these human spear. I'm going to put this at 5. Whatever, 5. The sword's at 0, 0, right? This spear, where did that spear go? Here. Should be at 0. There we go. Unpack this. I'm going to call this spear. What do I need to add to it? A box collider and a weapon script. Box collider. Weapon script with the weapon data of spear. Look how simple this is going to be, guys. Drag the spear in, and finally T prefab bow. And this should grab the human bow, which I want at -5, 0, 5. Bring it over here, unpack it, rename it to wooden bow. I guess it's a wooden spear. Whatever. We're going to add a box collider, and we're going to add a weapon script. With what weapon data, you ask? The bow. Prefabs weapons, let's register it. Boom. Okay, let's pick up something else. I'm going to walk up here and pick up the bow. Bam. And I can aim arrows. I can fire them. Let's pick up the spear. Boom, I now have a spear and a bow. But most importantly, I can swing the spear while holding the bow. I can do whacks and smacks. I can parry. And let's pick up the sword. Now I've got a sword, and I'm swinging the spear on top of the sword. And I can do a little shove with the bow. So here's an interesting question. It's saying right now my closest weapon is going up. I need to disable the colliders on these guys when they get picked up. Let's go in here and let's say public collider box collider. I'm going to say collider for now. So let's disable these colliders so that I won't try and pick them up when I'm holding them. So let's go to wooden sword. Let's assign this sucker box collider. Yeah, it's the only one. Spear and wooden bow. Good. Let's turn these colliders off when we pick them up. They stop getting checked. Equip weapon. Parent weapon to character. Position weapon. Disable weapon collider. Now the worst, you'll probably enable equals false. What am I trying to say? This is pretty obvious stuff. I'm commenting obvious things, but sometimes that's how it goes. Hi. Whew. Dr. Fierce checking in. Yeah. Hey, nothing. If you're still watching, what was your favorite childhood weapon? or anybody else who hasn't contributed their childhood weapon yet. Have I heard yours yet, Rick? You told me, didn't you? I'm gonna check the chat now. I don't think you have, Rig. I don't think you have. Favorite childhood weapon? I wish I could award the points you give out on these on the server. Remember about Earthbound's use of generic items as weapons? Yeah? I haven't played Earthbound. Yo-yos are cool. I do know that Ness uses a yo-yo in his smash attacks. What were some of the wildest ones from Earthbound? For the uninitiated. Okay. So we're going to disable Weapon Collider. Top in. Baseball bats, frying pans. Alright, wooden sword, wooden bow. Wooden bow still the closest? No. Spear, sword, bow. I've now picked up all of the things. Let's see if the console's still going wild about these things. It is. Huh. Huh. I need to remove them from the list of nearest items. Remove from nearest weapons list. Nearby weapons. Remove. Weapon. Nearby weapons list. Okay. I'm going to pick up the spear and make sure the spear is no longer getting commented on you. Perfect. The commenting stopped. I got wooden sword. Let's get a little closer to the bow. Wooden bow. Wooden sword. Okay, I got a question for you guys. Let me whip up some UI here first so I can better explain it. I can make an empty here called HUD. I'm going to give it a canvas. Bam. No, I'm going to create a canvas. Whoa, rewired UI, nice. Canvas. This event system, I'm going to do a goofy and I'm going to leave it there. Canvas system. HUD. I'm going to attach the event system to the HUD. Why not? Doesn't really matter. Position, zero it out. Scale of screen size, maxed height, 1920 by 1080. This is how I start off HUDs, make sure they're always the same sized. Graphic raycaster, yeah, whatever. I'm going to create a UI element that will float on the screen and tell you the name of the item that you're near. So let's make a panel. Let's make it centered. 100. I don't care about that. 150. 250. This will be our little item panel. It'll pop up and tell us what kind of item we got going on here. So I'm going to make it black. That's kind of like what I like item panels to look like. We'll call this the nearby interactable panel. I'm going to call this, yeah, nearby interactable panel. Let's start getting some scripts ready. Let's get a folder here called HUD. This panel I'm going to add our best friend Tex-Mex Pro to. Let's full size that. Let's give it some buffer. Let's center that sucker. Give it some buffer. Wooden sword. Cool, it fits perfectly. 24. I'm going to make this even smaller because you're going to be able to see it pretty well. Width 150, height 25, text. Bring it down, bring it down. Yeah. So if I maximize it, that's pretty readable. I'm going to call this item or interactable name, TMP. Okay. So I'm going to make a script here that should be able to work as long as a character exists. I'm going to call it HUD nearby interactable panel. That's a horrible name, but no other script should reference this. My goal is to create a prefab here that's independent. Prefab, create, folder, HUD. Let's drop our nearby interactable panel in here. And let's edit the script out of that script. Delete, start, and update. First step, every script. Void, late update we're going to want for this guy. And I want character. I'll make this public for now. We'll assign it by script later. My character. Late update. If my character and my character nearest weapon. Nice. High fives all around. Else. I can't do set active. I need to use a canvas group here. Canvas group. Move that up here. Remove that. Do it in the prefab. You ding dong. Canvas group. I like canvas groups to be above everything because they control everything. Interactable nah, blocks raycast nah, alpha 1. We're going to use this camera group to set how visible our text, this image is. So public canvas group. My canvas group. I've been doing the my thing pretty often. My canvas group alpha equals 1. It'll be visible as long as we're near an item. And I also need a public. I need to make sure I'm using TM Pro. And I want a TextMex Pro UGUI, which is the Unity Graphic User Interface. We're going to call this interactable name TMP. Interactable name TMP. Name equals my character nearest weapon name. Okay. So this should act independently. Hey, InnerScript. Good evening to you. Thank you so much for stopping by the stream. How you doing today? Let's plug in this canvas group, this UGUI. Boom. So now what should we see? If I plug in the character here and press play, we should see good, busy. What you been up to? As soon as I get near something, this thing should pop on screen and it should tell me the name of the item I'm near. Project 2020, Oculus XR plugins, a bit of a small chore. That sounds like no small chore, my friend. That sounds like an incredible undertaking. And a pain. Oh, shoot, I'm setting the name of my TMP. I need to set the text. Okay, what we're about to see is the game will tell me what I'm nearest to. Wooden sword, wooden bow, wooden sword, wooden spear. Cool. Now I know what I'll interact with if I try to interact. Ooh. What you working on in XR? Are you working on an augmented reality project? Are you focusing more on VR? Let's see. I'm sure I asked you last time, VR for the moment, but I'm forgetful as what. You probably caught my VR streams. I need to do another one of those sometime soon. I can display my my headset on the live stream now. I really do need to set one of those up again. Everything's not with UniXR systems. I think ARs, when somebody figures out how to do the Half-Life Alyx of AR, it's gonna explode. It's a wild west right now, but it will soon be a beautiful thing. Okay. I want this interactable panel to not only tell me the name of the item I'm near, but to also, excuse me, be centered on that item. I think AR is a lot more game friendly than VR is. Current Twitch dev project for now is building a custom mixed reality thing using Kinect. Ooh. I think Kinects, I think people sleep on too much. They are wonderful, beautiful things that people need to do more with. I do think AR is a lot more friendly than VR, yeah. Kinects were ahead of their time. So true. Holy crap. I loved doing a Dance Central on Kinect was my jam in college. It was back when we had what is it? The silly Wii game where you move the music game with the Wii remotes, where it's tracking like the remote or the nunchuck, and I hate that. Just Dance. Not a big Just Dance guy, but the Kinects, so good. As your Kinect new and shiny and great. Oh, oh man. I need to look into the Azure. Azure, that's a thing. Shoot, I'm blanking out. That's one of Microsoft's services, right? It's their cloud computing. Yeah. Oh shoot. How do they leverage their cloud computing with the Azure Connect? I say. Yeah. It's something different. Okay. It's just also blue, I assume. Edge computing device. Interesting. Edge computing. Man, soon you're going to be able to buy one of those things, put it on your dashboard, and it will turn your car into a self-driving car. That would be wild. Okay, so I want to position this HUD nearby interactable panel so that it is watching. It's in the world position of these items. That's what I want to do. So player camera. Let's get a public reference to our public camera player camera. And while I'm at it, I'm going to change from my character to player character. Let's do the code here. So we want to position this on screen. Wherever this... There's some strange noises coming from the kitchen right now you can't hear. I think Dr. Fierce is making a milkshake, which would be incredible, because I really flubbed up the last milkshake I made. If any of you would be interested in a video of me flubbing up a milkshake, it's on YouTube. During one of my live streams, I just wanted to make a milkshake, and we made one live on stream. It was a nightmare. So I want my transform position to be equal to player camera, world to screen point. Yup. Player character, nearest weapon, transform position. I can't remember if this is going to work out of the box or not, but let's try. Man, what are your ideas to use for AR in your script when you get to it? What would you like to see people do with AR? All right, so this panel, I need to attach the camera. I need to reattach the character. Under NDA, do you have any just fun ideas? I don't work in AR, and I have enough of my own passion projects to not want to work on anybody else's. Full disclosure. But I just love to hear what you think would be fun. Yeah, look at that. We've got the name now attached to the weapon. Book good ideas and prototypes and kit to test it out. Awesome. Well, hey, I won't make you share anything if you want to keep those to yourself, but that's exciting. Okay, now we've got this little item highlight to tell us when we're near an item. How nice is that? I think very nice is what it is. Some things I want to do here is I'd love to give priority to things that are in front of the character. AR, MR, VR, and spatial computing, things that will change the way we think of computing. It's so green pasture and exciting. Yeah, it truly is. If only there was enough time in the day to pursue it all. Man, I'm sure as tools get better, soon that will be an easy thing to do. Hello. Hello, doctor. You're good. You're good. Yep. Oh, thank you. Do you want to say anything to the stream?
Hi stream.
Oh, you have to get a little closer.
Not right now. Oh,
Okay.
just hi stream people.
I don't know if you guys picked her up. Let me know. But Dr. Fierce says, hello, stream people. Thank you. And she made a milkshake. It's chocolate. It's kind of watery, but I'm sure it'll be delicious. Time analogy, we're Nest waiting for mobile phones. Yeah. I like that analogy. But it's exciting. It's exciting, man. Well, cool. I'm glad you've got ideas you're throwing around and you're getting to pursue this stuff because, man, enjoy the Wild West. Don't get shot. Be the sheriff. Hmm. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. So next up, if I need to be able to drop weapons, and this is where I'm gonna mess with stuff. Previously, if you've joined us a long time ago, Peasant had fully physics-based weapons. I'm completely taking physics out of the equation because it's just a nightmare to do over a network. But I still want to display these guys nice and fancy. So I want to have them floating and spinning. That's what I would like. Mmm. Milkshake delicious. Okay. But for now, if we pick up a weapon, I just want to drop whatever we're holding and place it back on the ground. Let's get swapping in here, in fact. Okay. Character. I don't need any of this stuff anymore. Let's make a drop weapon. You'll still be able to throw weapons. Throwing weapons is very important to my lifestyle. So drop weapon. Input. Short interact will pick up weapon. Let's just say if current weapon is false, basically. I don't actually store the current weapon, do I? Equipped weapon. This never gets called. Equipped weapon equals weapon. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. Will you be sitting in on the stream?
Yep.
All right. If you guys have any questions for Dr. Fierce, let me know in the chat, and we'll get her input.
That's so scary.
Yeah, just keep them PG. Yeah, we'll get Dr. Fierce on the stream one of these days, and it'll be glorious. But we'll wait until she's ready. Okay, equip weapon. We set equal here. So pick up weapon. I want to make sure if not equipped weapon. That way you have to long interact. To swap, basically. Specialty, family medicine. She says, yup. Drop weapon. Equipped weapon. Cool. Cool. I'm going to expand this out because I'm going to need to anyways. I'm going to drop the currently equipped weapon. So let's just undo all this stuff. This is how you unequip a weapon. I'm going to just update the character state to unarmed for now. And then it's immediately going to get reset, but why not? Okay, we need to unparent the weapon next. We're going to place it on the ground, enable the collider. And I guess we could add it to the nearby weapons list. We're not going to do that unless we need to. But let's unparent it first. Weapon, set parent, weapon transform, set parent to null. Hate to do that. Hate to null out something's parents. Parent, even worse. Oof. Okay. So, clear parent, position weapon on the ground. So I want our transform. Man, you guys can't hear it, but there is, we are across the river from a airfield where I assume they're training people to fly little Cessna planes. They're obnoxious. I'm going to use Quaternion Identity. That makes me happy. I like it when I use Quaternion Identity. We turn on the collider again. We cleared the parent. We position the weapon. We turn on the collider. I think that's all we need. Let's see. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to pick up a sword. I can't pick up the bow. I can't pick up the spear. I'm going to hold to swap. And I swap for the spear. And the wooden sword's on the ground. Yeah! And my character gets pushed away because he currently collides with weapons. But you're not able to swap weapons. Whack, whack, whoosha. Sandwiched between two mom and pop airports, constant low altitude flybys. Yikes. Oh, I don't envy you. Was he holding that sword appropriately? Oh hey, I can just drop weapons without having one equipped. Yeah, he's swinging that all right. I love this dodge roll. I've never had something like a dodge roll in my games. It just makes me happy. Gonna dodge, draw an arrow, fire. Dodge, draw an arrow, fire. Cool. That's a good way to do it, babe. Dr. Fierce is all about that. All about that roll, fire. She's very good with the bow. Okay, one, I don't want to swap weapons unless we have an equipped weapon. So long interact. If no equipped weapon, pick up weapon. If equipped weapon, and nearby weapon. Nearest weapon. There we go. I should change this to pick up weapon to be weapon, weapon, and pass in the nearest weapon. No, we're not going to do that yet. Okay, cool. We accomplished most of the things we were trying to do today. That's good, and with time to spare. Let me look at these weapons and let me give them, make sure they've got the correct tags, the correct layer. These are pickups. Yeah. Player character. Select player character. Character. Okay, pickup and character means I should be able to walk through these now, but my trigger no longer detects them. Crap. Not good. Okay. How do we update this? I'm going to remove the trigger. Doesn't seem like the right solution, but trust me, it is. It's not the right solution. Crap, I want the trigger to detect something, but the character did not collide with it. I don't want people dropping weapons to make a wall that enemies can't walk through. That would be silly. Okay, let me think this through. There's brownie bits in this milkshake. Delicious. Mm-mm-mm. I've never wanted to fly a plane, but after being next to this airport, I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Maybe that flight simulator is for me. Maybe I should make so drop weapons don't have colliders that interact with enemies. Most of your enemies are gonna be you. I could work out the collisions so that I think that would complicate things. What I did before was darn. Darn. I'm thinking. Maybe we can move the trigger volume down a layer. And so I'm going to do this. I'm going to make an empty on here called interact radius. I'm going to steal this sphere collider, copy, remove, interact radius. Paste component is new. Okay, play. Does it work? I forgot to change what it was. Layer down to default. Save. It works. My character can walk through things, and because my trigger is on a different layer as a child object, it still interacts. And my enter and exit trigger events are still getting sent to the rigid body, which has the script that lets me actually see the weapons. So yeah, now we can swap weapons. Okay, that's pretty good. Hi. Yeah, crud. I got everything done I wanted to set out to do today, guys. Next up, let's work on hit interactions. I don't have as much planning done here, but we're gonna try and plan for this. I would like I would like to get interactions with players done here. Because right now these weapons, they'll do the animations, but the weapons don't actually do anything. Let's write a health script, which I should be able to just copy from my old thing. I'm going to copy over my health script. Character. Health. Copy paste. Let's look into this health script and see what we need to not overcomplicate. Max health. Grace period. I'm not concerned with grace period right now. That's a little tricky. Current health, right? System public static health client. No thanks. Public static event, damage and heal. Nice. Client equals this. No thanks. Photon view. Let's not worry about that for now. Let's just make this a mono behavior. We'll worry about mono behavior pun later. Yeah, I'll change this guy off a pun as well. Okay, let's fix here. Grace period. Not gonna worry about grace period. Not gonna worry about RPC crap. This is way too complicated. So let's simplify this. On death, on damage, on heal, we'll keep those static events. Who got hurt? How much they get hurt? Where'd they get hurt? This lets me do my damage numbers, which is nice. Let's just make a damage function here. Void. Deal. Damage. Int amount. Current MySQL amount. If current less than 0, you're dead. Dead. Okay. And I'm going to have a void heal at some point. Here's something I've been throwing around. If you guys have been following Peasant development, I've been watching some playthroughs of the old Half-Life. Yeah, less than or equal. Thank you, Interscript. That makes sense. I love living on the edge with 0 health. Yeah. Good catch. 10 points to Interscript for catching my dumb mistake. Current plus equal amount. We're not going to worry about that too much right now. I'm going to call damage, though. Damage. Or let's do this. If amount less than or equal 0, we're just going to cancel out of there. Return. Dealing 0 damage doesn't matter. Otherwise, we're going to call the onDamage event with this of amount at transform position. Okay. And we'll do the same for on heal. Why not? Not going to worry about change. Not going to worry about kill or death or on serialized view. We'll bring those back if we need to. I just need to be able to damage something and reduce the number. We're going to log this debug. Log $, name was dealt amount damage. Okay. Okay, cool. Cool. Let's make something to beat up, shall we? Let me pick a character here to beat up. Who should we beat up? Need like a neutral character here. Tin Man. Ooh. A skeleton. Yeah, that's pretty fair. Sorry, guy. Hey, skeleton. I'm gonna unpack you real quick. I'm gonna give him an animator. Why not? Why not? Let's unpack this skeleton. Let's give him an animator, whatever our character uses. SF character animators. Shoot, I've really just run this character animator to the ground. That's not good. What? Oh, cool. Thanks, 3D viewer. I'm going to duplicate this and commandeer it real quick. Animations. Character. Yeah, I should be using my own animator in here. Our character, I just duped this, right? Yeah, so that should be fine. Cool. Okay. Hey, undead skeleton. I'm sure we'll have skeletons in the game at some point. You have the character animator, which should put you into a nice, unarmed idle pose. Well, he's busy running forwards and not going anywhere fast, it seems. Wait, what? What just happened? Hey, player character. How come your animator and this animator are different, even though I dragged and dropped this same one? Player character. Animator. What's going on? Symbol character. Oh, that's the avatar. Dang it, I need the animator. Character controller. I'm a fool. There we go. Okay, go into a nice idle for me, buddy. There we go. Nice little idle animation. Aww. He's beautiful. Okay, let's get a capsule on him, same size as me. Welcome back, Ping. Okay, 1.5, radius 5, and 3. Capsule collider. Think about adding a bot, pretty much for command like exclamation point dunce, but I'm scared. What kind of bot you talking? Like one on Twitch? This guy's going into prefabs, interestingly. Twitch bot, yeah. I've got one sitting on the channel here. It's all pretty simple stuff. But especially because of the little emotes. I think bots are fun and they're pretty harmless. I should change that so it'll actually at whatever name you put after. But I haven't done that yet. I can't remember what my other commands were. I think I only had like 2 or 3. Yeah, this one's got auto moderation on it, which is so nice. We've got our skeleton here. He's got a capsule collider, which should go up here. I'm going to give him a rigid body just because he's a character and I want him to interact with things. Kinematic, don't worry about anything else. And I'm going to give him a health script. Max health of 100. So now we can start trying to damage things. He's kind of scary looking, not gonna lie. Dr. Fierce has left the building, sadly. I love these simple little models. I'm gonna have to come up with my own goofy models for this game, but I'm really enjoying having these stand-in ones for now. Having stand-in models, we aren't safe without the doctor. Stand-in models has been just a beautiful thing for my prototyping. I can't recommend it enough to get a good library of assets for prototyping. Just the greatest thing to be like, yeah, I can just throw a shark in here. I can throw a skeleton in here. She does not have a PhD in basket weaving. I'll tell you what. Can confirm having a pop prototype assets is the best. So true. So let's get these weapons dealing damage to a character. If I had a ton of money and time, I would. I've probably invested $100 in assets, I think. Especially if you count Rewired, which was like 60, 50, 40, something like that. But there was a really big sale at the new year. I got to pick up all of these ones. These animations I bought last week. They're just so nice to have something to toy with. To deal damage, here's what I'm thinking. Kenny, in a few paid packs, you can get far. I need to have these things biases all the time, especially bundles. 20 hours saves me time working, researching, fully worth it. Totally. If I paid myself $5 an hour, do asset flipping? No thanks. If I paid myself $5 an hour for these streams, I'd have $20 every week, and that's pretty decent to buy assets. And occasionally people drop bits or subscribe to this channel, which any of you can do at any time, by the way. And I use that money for my stream. I spent some to hire an artist today. Sword. Thanks for the host, Ping. I do appreciate it. I can host. So to get these to collide with players, my old system was this. I had another collider on each of these guys. No, that's not true. I reused the collider. I turn it into a trigger. No. The old system, I would do a custom check for other colliders overlapping this collider. It wasn't pretty. Wasn't pretty. And I'd check it every frame. I think collisions would be easy, but no. So I'm going to make a trigger underneath this and call this Hurtbox. I'm going to make a Hurtbox collider, and I'm just going to copy the other box collider here. Definitely not. I think it would be coordinates equal coordinates, but no. So this is my Hurtbox BS melee combat system and asset. Works good, especially for what you're doing. I should look into that. I'm going to pull it over here. Wow, that comes up in Google. I wonder how they do it. Bladesmith melee combat. How much does that go for? 25 bucks? Not bad. Interesting. I'll have to watch raycasting based on trajectory each frame. Ooh, frame rate, frame lag proof? Ooh, Interscript. You're getting a commission, maybe. Interesting. No weapon colliders, frame rate independent. Yo. Make your custom weapons. Oh. Alright. Alright. It's going on the bookmarks bar for me to look at later. I'm going to look into that Interscript. You might have just saved me a lot of time. I'm going to work on something else then, and I'll look on that tomorrow. Spend the 25 bucks. I'm going to look into that. I'm going to look into how it gets set up in the system, because it sounds like it'd work with what I'm working with. Yeah, because I really don't want to reinvent the wheel. I'm going to look into that tomorrow, or maybe after stream today. Thank you, Interscript. This is why I love streaming game dev. One, people aren't going to steal my ideas because they have their own dreams they want to make. And two, you guys are smarter than me. You can help me do things. Okay, so let's ignore the weapon system for now. Let's do some fun effects. I'm going to make an animator for these items to make them float and spin. Because I want items that float and spin. Current game dev is one failed prototype. Oh no! Heard of game dev has better ideas than a solo. That's true, yeah. 2 is better than Zach. It never ceases to amaze me how transparent things work on a green screen. Because this looks pretty good and transparent. But green screens are just color. So it makes sense. Sorry. When it comes to game dev and anything in life where failing doesn't cost other people's lives, fail hard and fail fast. I'm pretty sure Jesse Shell said that. Don't quote me. Don't misquote Jesse Shell. Don't quote anybody on that. Find the person who said that. Quote them. Only Gamedev Project was kind of small sample size. Well, hey, make things. Make them quick, make them dirty, push them out the door. If you've seen my goofy library of games on itch, like these were all prototypes and games I made in 2 hours or less. And admittedly, I've been doing it so long, they've been getting better and better. But because I had to make them quickly, made them good, basically. So here's a silly little goofy pirate game where you can shoot Black Flag style ships. And I really like this one. Doof, 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 doof. Kabam! Kabam! Make things quickly. Do your own personal game jams. Much easier to make software than it is in the game. I don't know about that. Software, you gotta be precise and efficient. And I've never made anything precise or efficient. Okay. Animator. Shoot, I'm gonna have to mess with these models. Precise and efficient, then making something fun. Yo. Okay, to make these guys float. It's gonna be tricky. I might have to use root motion. Let's try. Folder. Item. My current country's tag game. Hey, you're iterating. That's good. You remember when I was working on this? When I was working on this goofy game and I had all the other stuff going on, I moved out of it because it got away from me. Iterating is wonderful. Easier to make good software than a crappy game. Good games are difficult and time consuming. Okay, I got you. You got me there, Interscript. That's fair. I just need time. I just need time. Okay, let's make some animations here for our wooden sword. I'm gonna make an idle. Let's make an item. Idle. And I'm going to grab this sword's position. Did that grab everything? It did. And its rotation. Did that grab everything? It did. Good. Copy those. Make a new clip. Item. Hover. Let's do it. All right, let's make a smooth little hover here. 2 seconds long, I'm thinking. Okay, position. Well, it's going to start above the ground. 2021. Get to my country's game after that. Yowzers, that's a lot. 0.2. At 1 second, let's get that up to 0.7. And then at 2, get that back down to 0.2. Let's select all. Let's make them flat. Not slow enough. Not slow enough. Spread this out. 3. Still too quick. To 4. Still too quick? To 5? There we go. Part of the reason I set up a Twitch stream was for personal accountability. It forced me to be more productive. 1 to 2 hour days, 3 times a week, and you're making more progress than someone who's just dreaming of it. That's inspiring, Interscript. A big part of my issue is I have so many other projects that aren't game dev related that my game dev skill is not there. Yeah, streaming, even to a few friends, is real good for productivity, makes you want to push hard. That's one of the main reasons I do it. One of the reasons I do it, I love talking to you guys. But yeah, next dev project can't be streamed. Then you need to come up with something you can stream. I'll challenge you right now. Come up with something you can. Like me and this goofy thing. I can stream this because it's mine. All right, this is going to be linear. Linear. Here. Floating item. Not bad, right? But I'd love to offset that rotation in a way that I know it's not going to let me do. I'd love for this to be at an angle. Rotation in Unity is a nightmare. So right now, all of this is spinning on the world axis. Well, I really want the Y to be spinning on the local axis, but you can't do that in an animation. That's one thing I wish you could do in Unity a lot easier. I could do it in a script, which is what I might just end up doing. It's an interesting idea. That's a really interesting idea. This animation, I could do this in a script really easily. And make it look exactly how I want it. So here's the thing, this animation here isn't going to work for some weapons because they're going to be different lengths. Like the bow, this won't really work for. But I think I might devise a script to do this. That said, this is pretty decent already. I'm going to leave it for now. Let's throw this on the spear, see how it looks. Item. Move it up here, please. Make the script, make it flexible and generic enough to use in other places. Yup. That would be the plan. So see if I run it here. Actually, it's going to look the same here because of how this is set up. Actually, no. Where did it go? Oh, gosh. Oh, it's offset. There we go. Spear. 0, 0. Sword. Are you offset at all? No. Good. I look like making libraries I can use in future projects. Now, Ping, I hear that, but you're also telling me that you've only had one failed prototype. Ah, look at this. They're taking absolute position. Let's see if I can, with my minimal knowledge of animations, switch these to root motion and see if that works to keep these in place. It does! Yeah! Now I got some spinning items. And now they spin in my hand. How about that? This is my bow and arrow. It works just like this. As you can see, it is a wonderful tool. Any good piece of software is a bunch of good custom libraries that are glued together. Yeah. I feel it. I feel it. Number one, best fan, just got here. Toasty Oats! When was the last time you've been on my stream, you ding dong? Sheesh. Never been here. Who are you? You're a VIP in my stream. You've been here before. Is this the Halo stream? It's not, but it could be if you want to play Halo on stream sometime, since they just released Halo 3 on Steam, which we both own. Very incognito person. I don't believe that for a second. Everyone else, please feel free to continue your conversations. Hey, Toasty Oats, what was your favorite childhood weapon? And was it something other than a Nerf gun or a lightsaber? Battle axe. Whoa. Whoa. That's unexpected. Interesting. It was lightsaber. Got him. Got him. With lights and whooshing. Interesting. Well, you haven't seen this Lost Mysteriously One Day. That's tragic. I don't think you've seen this, Toasty Oats, but this is a game that I'm hoping to get everybody playing soon online. This is Peasant. This is a game about swapping weapons and trying to use a weapons triangle to beat other weapons. 100% convinced it was stolen from my front yard. Yikes. JSON driver you made is improved through some non-game projects. Custom build to use JSON like a SQL JSON hybrid, but also faster and prevents overwriting data with multiple open files. Awesome. So it's got application outside of games, which is good. I might reverse this attack animation to create a second swing. Made for an application outside of games. Gotcha. I should add an offset to these items for their little name card. 8 bits of velvet. Welcome, welcome. At night when the creepers come out. Yup. Let's see. Things I need to do next. I need to get the shield working with the sword. Yes, hello, hello. I do have Master Chief Collection. I bought it so that we could play it together. We need to do that sometime. Also, I'm going to be playing some Valorant tomorrow as long as my schedule works out. You mean, Evan, let's do... Yeah, maybe Friday or this weekend. But yeah. Alright, guys. I will be wrapping this up here. But expect to see more game dev on Thursday. Same time, same place. Down to join tomorrow. Not bad. I'm going to look into that melee system that... that inner script recommended, because that sounds like it could save me a lot of time and I'm willing to invest. That'll be fun to play with. Maybe Thursday we'll just play with that as long as it's something that I'm going to use. If not, we'll go back to the old system I was using, which worked well. Just wasn't lag efficient. And yeah, I might stream tomorrow when I play some Valorant. That could be fun. And maybe Friday if we play something else. But we'll see you next Thursday. Get stoked. We're doing some more melee combat. Good to see you guys. Add me as a friend, send a message. Hop on to help debug. Not bad, not bad. I'm gonna flail around with it first in your script, but I may be talking to you soon. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Featuring #1 best fan. Who's that? Anyways, guys, thank you again for joining me. I'm Zach. I do this for a living, and I hope to see you guys on Thursday. So God bless. Have a good night. Thank you, Ping, Interscript, Toasty Oats, Velvet, and Rig for stopping in. See you guys in a couple of days.